So the other day I was curious about what happened to Joy2Key. From what I heard with Apex, they no longer, if you try to run the program, the game will not start. So I decided to look further into this as I really wanted to get back. Beaming just like normal. This method is a bit extreme to use. I mean, if you really want to beam long range again, go ahead. However, in my opinion, this method is a tad bit extreme. But if I go into menu, as you can see, the jitter is working along with the controller. So if you aren't aware of my VMware video, you guys can go ahead and I'll link that for you can watch it. But this method basically utilizes VMware in order to get this working. So what I would have on here, I'd have Sunshine on the main PC. And as I mentioned, I do have another video on how to set that up if you want to go and watch it. And once you have that on the PC, you'd simply run it. So here I have the device plugged in. So the device that I currently have is, it's a what we call a HoriPad, or it's a Keymander 2, terrible device by the way, never get it. So we have a Keymander 2, and I also have a Azron keyboard. So we have a Keymander and also an Azron keyboard. And that is how I'm currently utilizing these. So it's basically simple. Once you're in the VMware, once you've gone ahead and have everything set up, all you need to do is install Joy2Key, import your favorite config, and it depends on what you're using. Because the HoriPad or the Keymander, it registers as a switch controller, so I bind it to the switch buttons, and then I'd have another button. Let me go ahead and remove this. Then I'd have it to joystick 4, and as you can see, joystick 4 basically initiates the jitter, which is 28 and 29, and then go with the basics, preference 16x, that's all, and then you can test it in here. So you're going to go ahead and have the removable device set to whatever you're using. It's detected as a HoriPad S, so it's already connected to the host. So go ahead and ignore that. If I do open Chrome here and go into Gamepad Tester, as you can see, it's detected here as a controller. So you move right, and as you can see, the jitter is also working in the VM. This is what you'll be emulating over. So if you're using ReWAS, you would put ReWAS in here, and then you'd use the jitter or whatever you're using. However, I don't believe it will work just like that. You'd have, because you're translating over the gamepad into your main PC. As for input delay, barely any if you're on a very good PC or a beefy PC. So once you go ahead and get that done, simply go back to Moonlight, do the basic set. As I mentioned, I have a video on that. Go to your desktop. I forgot to include this part, but here are the settings that you'd be using to accomplish this. Not sure how they would affect the actual thing, but just dropping them and resume. Once you resume, it will do this rubbish. You simply just minimize it, and then your controller will now detect as an Xbox controller on your main PC, and you can jitter. So that's all you need to do, and then you can go to like Apex. Let me go ahead and get that open. Alright, so once you're in the game, you basically have full access to your set. As I mentioned, the better your PC and internet, the less input lag you have. But as I showed earlier, you now have jitter. If I should go here, it's jittering. If I should pick up like a All-Star, and then I look at, say, this thing right here. My gun doesn't move. And this isn't like a perfect config, this is something I just put together randomly. What gun has a good recoil? Let's pick up the Havoc. So with the Havoc with a 3x, not perfect, but that's 90% of recoil. You can eliminate the rest of the strafing. To almost 150. And there you go, that's how you beam. As I mentioned, this is sort of a free method. So if you do want to use this, go ahead, see to your liking. However, if you don't feel like it's worth the effort, then you can find something else.